The golden fields stretched endlessly behind her, rippling softly as the evening breeze passed through the wheat. She stood by the old wooden fence, the world quiet for a moment, as if nature itself had paused to admire her presence. The sun painted her skin with warm light, turning the countryside into a dream woven from gold and green. Van Horst first noticed her smile before anything else, gentle, confident, and full of untold stories. It was the kind of smile that didn't ask for attention but commanded it anyway. When she turned slightly, looking back over her shoulder, time betrayed him. In that single glance, something deep within him stirred, a feeling he hadn't known he was searching for. They met there often, where the land met the sky. No promises, no grand words, just shared silences, soft laughter, and glances that spoke louder than voices ever could. The fields became their secret witness, holding every unspoken emotion between them. Van Horst loved how she carried both strength and softness so effortlessly, how the calm of the countryside seemed to live inside her. When she stood near him, the world felt simpler, warmer, more real. Love didn't arrive suddenly, it grew slowly, like the wheat around them, rooted in patience and care. As the sun dipped low and the horizon blushed, he realized something beautiful. Some love stories aren't written in cities or sealed with vows. Some are born quietly, by wooden fences, under open skies, where hearts learn to recognize home. And there, in that peaceful moment, Van Horst knew, this was not just a place. This was a feeling. This was her. The countryside always had a way of telling stories, stories written in the language of wind, sunlight, and quiet moments. That evening, the fields were glowing like molten gold, stretching endlessly beneath the open sky. The air smelled of earth and summer, and time seemed to slow its pace. She stood there by the wooden fence, calm and graceful, as if she belonged to the land itself. The soft fabric of her dress moved gently with the breeze, and when she turned slightly, her smile carried a warmth that could soften even the most restless heart. It wasn't a smile meant for the world, it was a smile meant for someone who truly saw her. Van Horst arrived just as the sun began its descent. He had walked this path countless times before, yet that evening felt different. The moment his eyes found her, the world rearranged itself. The fields, the sky, the distant trees, everything faded into the background. There was only her. They didn't speak at first. They never needed to. Some connections are born beyond words, shaped by shared silence and lingering glances. Van Horst leaned against the fence beside her, close enough to feel her presence, yet careful not to disturb the peace between them. She looked back at him, her eyes reflecting the golden horizon. "Do you ever feel," she said softly, "like some places remember us?" He smiled. "I think some places wait for us." From that day on, the fields became their refuge. They met there when the world felt too loud, when questions grew heavier than answers. She spoke of dreams she had never dared to say aloud, dreams of freedom, of love that didn't demand but understood. Van Horst listened the way few ever had, with his whole heart. He admired her strength, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't announce itself. She carried her confidence with elegance, her softness with courage. In her presence, Van Horst felt grounded, as if his wandering soul had finally found its anchor. As seasons shifted, their bond deepened. Autumn painted the fields amber and red, winter wrapped them in silence, and spring returned with hope blooming in every corner. Through it all, she remained, steady, luminous, unforgettable. One evening, as the sky turned shades of pink and violet, Van Horst realized the truth he had been avoiding. Love hadn't arrived like a storm. It had arrived like the sunrise, slow, inevitable, and full of warmth. "I don't know when it happened," he confessed quietly, "but you feel like home to me." She smiled again, that same gentle smile, and rested her hand on the fence. "Home isn't a place," she said. "It's where the heart finally feels safe." The wind carried their silence across the fields, sealing the moment into eternity. No promises were spoken, yet everything was understood. Love didn't need declarations there. It lived in the space between them, in the way the fields whispered the names long after they left. And even years later, when life carried them far from that place, the memory remained, a golden field. A wooden fence, a glance over the shoulder, and a love that grew quietly, beautifully, forever.